Can you finally use AliExpress for dropshipping in 2024? And how do you find your own private sourcing agent that can get you the best prices and shipping times for any product that you sell? Will you finally get laid? All those questions and more will be answered in today's video, and the answers just may shock you. Now, I don't want to give you blue balls or leave you on a cliffhanger, so obviously the answer to that last question is a resounding hell no. We're staying virgins till marriage, and we are not going to engage into any sexual activity until our dropshipping stores are doing millions every single year, so we buy the Porsche, buy the house, and get the gold-digging Latina wife that doesn't speak any English and spends all of our money on Louis Vuitton, so we have to keep making money so that we can help satiate that shopping spree she has. Now, in my last video, we did find 5 great products that I found live in front of your eyes using PP ads, Temu, and some other product research tools. So if you want to learn how I actually find products, you can take a look at that video after this one. Don't skip ahead. But in that video, I actually reveal how you can get access to those tools that cost over $500 a month cumulatively for a fraction of the cost, which is all by joining my $50 a month Bold Ecom University course, which comes with all the tools, strategies, and group coaching with me so that I can analyze your website, product selection, and ads so that you are testing products the right way so you can scale to $1,000 a day. So let's take a look at today's eligible bachelors. Number 1 is the digital photo frame, the self-blending mug, the shoulder heating pad, the handheld welding gun, and of course the very saturated calming lights cube, whatever you want to call it. So once you find the products that you want to sell, yes, how do we go about finding the right supplier? Well, I would always recommend getting a base, and usually every single product that has ever existed in the history of mankind is going to be on AliExpress, and you typically will source it there and then use that link to source it using other more reputable platforms like CJ Dropshipping, Zendrop, AutoDS, all of those big tools that we are going to show in this video. But we're going to go through that process, and where I usually start is I will go onto an image from one of these listings. It could be on Amazon, it could be on a competitor's store. It really doesn't matter. You just need to find a good image of your product like this one right here. So then we're going to right click and we're going to search goods on AliExpress by this image. Now this is using a Chrome extension called AliExpress Search by Image, also known as AliSeek. And as you can see right here, we got a bunch of different suppliers, and it doesn't really matter which one we choose initially. It's usually you want to have one that is good, so then yes, you can use that link to source it on other tools. But I still will sometimes use AliExpress if I feel like the price and the shipping times are better than all the other ones, which it actually happens more often than you think. Now, you should use AliExpress for dropshipping in 2024. And before you get out your pitchforks and ostracize me as a leopard, let me explain. Most people that are telling you that AliExpress is bad started dropshipping over 5 years ago. Back when AliExpress was terrible. It did have terrible product quality. The shipping times were outrageous, 30, 60 days. But nowadays, in 2024, AliExpress has definitely stepped up their game. With all the competition like Temu coming out, they have had to really up the supplier quality and their shipping times. And if you try to source a product right now today, you will always find it for the cheapest cost on AliExpress. But the main objection was always, okay, but the shipping times will be long. However, I have found that when I've used AliExpress, the shipping times have been consistently 12 days, 14 days, 15 days. In fact, for this product I want to sell, this digital photo frame, I can get on AliExpress and have this shipped out in 13 to 18 days. And this is during Chinese New Year. AliExpress is one of the only platforms that is still shipping out products and has suppliers that are actively working while everyone else is shutting down for weeks. Now you may be wondering, how did I find this supplier that was $46 instead of the original that was at $59? And all I did was I just looked up the keyword digital photo frame. So if you look up the keywords for your product, you can usually see all the different suppliers on AliExpress or whatever platform you're using. And that is going to be the next step after we find the best one on AliExpress. So now we know here is the main one that we need to use. So it's $46 and has shipping times of 13, 18 days. That is very hard to beat. But of course, we have to do our due diligence and use the other tools, the Zendrops, the Eprolos, the CJ Dropshippings, and the AutoDS. So let's go on those tools and do the same thing first, where we're just going to look at the keywords and see if we can find the products on there, which sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. So on Zendrop, we don't really have the exact one we're looking for. We do have different versions of the photo frame, but we're going to have to rule them out for now. Now on CJ, I did find this listing, which, yeah, $46 is as competitive as AliExpress, but this is where they try to trick you, those con artists. $12 shipping. So always keep that in mind. Total price is actually $60, not $46. That's how they get you. So we're probably going to still stick with AliExpress, even though the shipping times on CJ, yeah, 7 to 12 days. That's really, really good. Now, AutoDS, we did find a version, $50, good reviews, US. Honestly, 4 business days and $50 using one of the suppliers from AutoDS is insane. This is really, really good. And this is why I love using AutoDS for my dropshipping stores and why I personally partner with them, because they have millions of different products on their platform that are coming from verified suppliers, the top suppliers that can ship out your product in 1 to 5 business days to any country in the world. Now, AutoDS can do a whole lot more than that by automating your dropshipping store and automatically fulfilling the orders you get every single day to take that burden off of your shoulders. And if you're right now trying to build a new dropshipping store, they have an AI store builder that will build you a new store from scratch at the click of a button. They have an enormous database of products that you can easily get suppliers for, and they also have a winning product section where they gather the data from fulfilling orders for thousands of different dropshippers to recommend you hot products right now that you can sell for your dropshipping store. Now, later on in this video, we're going to talk about all the other features that it can do, but if you want to sign up for AutoDS, you can get a 30-day free trial by clicking the link in my description. Now, one of the best dropshipping suppliers in the game right now is the team at Commercive, which if you join their Discord, which is around $30 a month, they will get you your own private sourcing agent that you can just create a ticket for whenever you need to get a product sourced. So it's really simple. Go into the Discord, create a ticket, you drop in all the information about your product, and then they will get it sourced for you. Now, if you are a VIP member, which, hey, I'm going to use my cloud and of course get access to one of their private agents, then they will connect you via WhatsApp, and then you can just send some text, send over the list of products you want to get, and they will give you quotes just like this. So for my digital photo frame, $63 is what they got, and 10 to 15 day shipping times. So shipping times are great. Price wise for this product, it's not going to really work. Now, while this is the exact process I go through for sourcing any dropshipping product, obviously Suppliers is only just one piece of the puzzle. So if you really want to shortcut the learning curve and scale your dropshipping brand to $1,000 a day in the next 90 days, especially if you've been struggling and losing money for the past months or years with dropshipping, then I would recommend working with a one-on-one coach. Which is exactly why my team and I have opened up 2 new spots in February for our exclusive one-on-one and group coaching program, where we are going to give you the accountability and most importantly, the support that you are going to need to see real results in the dropshipping game, because we are going to personally review your product list and choose the right products for you so that you don't waste money and time on the wrong product. Then we're going to teach you how to craft irresistible offers on your website so you can have a high converting store for every product. And then finally, we will teach you the secrets, the tricks of the trade to creating high converting ads for every product you sell so that you can make products into a winner instead of praying and hoping that your next test will suddenly become a winner. So if you're ready to personally work with me and my 7-figure coaches that will give you personalized support to your dropshipping store to help you hit your goals this year, then book a call down below. Now, the last supplier I love to use for my dropshipping stores is Eprolo, and they have some of the best shipping times out of everyone in the game right now. So for our example product, we have this digital photo frame, which, yeah, we were able to find in different places with decent shipping times and decent prices. But right now, the lowest price for this product is $40 on Eprolo, which is really, really good to see. So if we wanted to ship this to America, we can see all the different shipping options. Yoon is usually the one I like, Yoon Express, Yoon Standard. So that would cost us $19, which is definitely a little bit higher, but they have other options like the Star Wish, which is 10 to 18 days. That is still very respectable. So all in, it would cost us $55, so just slightly more than AliExpress, but that is definitely a very viable option for most products are going to sell. So right now for this first product, it looks like AliExpress comes out on top. It had the cheapest cost and the shipping times were very competitive. And finally, if we look at the product reviews, 4.8 is really, really solid. If a product is not that great and the quality is lower, then this review number would probably be closer to 4.2, 4.3. I would say anything below a 4.4 in AliExpress is not a supplier I want to be using, because maybe the product is good, but that supplier has very poor product quality. Now, this is how you vet AliExpress suppliers that you may want to use for your dropshipping store. So for this product, we got an amazing price. The reviews look great, and the shipping time is 2 weeks, which during Chinese New Year is absolutely insane. But is this supplier legit? Well, this is how I like to verify. I look at the different ratings on AliExpress, and mainly if all of these main categories are above a 4.5. Now we can see 4.6, 4.6, 4.7. Those are all really good. And then the final thing typically is you want a supplier that has been in business for over 2 years. You don't want someone that has just started last week, because you will see suppliers that have started a few weeks, a few months ago, and I wouldn't recommend them. I would always try to find an alternative. But these guys have been around since 2019, which is really, really solid. So I would feel more than comfortable with the feedback score, everything I'm seeing, to use this supplier. But before you jump the gun, the final thing you want to do is look at the photo reviews for your product to make sure it's actually the same product, because you will see suppliers faking reviews, and they will import reviews from another listing onto a current listing to make the reviews look much better than they actually are. So let's actually see here if we can see a photo and an example. And yep, that looks like the exact product. Yeah, that's the one right there. Awesome. So this looks incredibly legit, but that is the due diligence you have to go through. Now, some people may say, go ahead and message the supplier first, make sure they're actually getting back to you. And that's a good step, but I think for the sake of testing products, you don't really need to do that. If all of these definitely match, you should go ahead and be comfortable with using that supplier. And then once you start to scale, obviously then build the relationship, get their contact on WhatsApp, move away from AliExpress, and get a better listing. Because if you're really doing numbers and scaling a product, you can tell your supplier on AliExpress to take off their listing and do a private listing instead, where none of the other dropshippers can use them. So therefore, they have to use the crappier suppliers with higher product costs, which makes it harder to compete with you. And that's the competitive edge you're going to need when you are scaling. Everything matters. Those margins, the exclusivity, the right supplier, and building the right partnership with your supplier over time. And obviously negotiating the product costs once you are delivering them consistent business, because then you have the leverage. Now, before we look at the quotes for the other products, there is one final step we have to do to make sure unequivocally that this is the best supplier, that we are using AliExpress. And I know what you're thinking.
Ethan, please give us mercy, spare us. We can't possibly do this work for every single product. We are so lazy. I'm in bed right now watching your amazing tutorial, but I can't possibly fathom doing all of this work.
Which, if that's the case, then you're gonna lose to me every single day of the week, buddy. I got that dog in me. Woof, woof. And this is the due diligence that I'm gonna go through. Now, before we continue the video, if you leave a like and comment down below, I'll make a full video where I break down how I actually brand products and give you real examples of products that I've added my logo to, branding, and working with 3PL, so you can see the full behind the scenes of what that process looks like. So if you want to get the best rates and make sure without a shadow of the doubt you have found the best rates and supplier, then I would do a sourcing request using CJ and AutoDS. So on CJ Dropshipping, what you can do, if we go back to the main menu here, is there is a sourcing option called sourcing requests. So when you go onto this, all you have to do, click on post sourcing requests in the top right, and then you're going to grab the AliExpress link. So we're going to go to individual product. We'll do digital photo frame. Let's see if I can spell. Oh my gosh. I'm a top G, what can I say? And then for target price, I'm gonna aim around 40 bucks. So we know most of the listings were at 46, 50, so 40 would be really good. Then we're gonna drop the AliExpress link that we found for this product, just like this. La-di-da, bada bing, bada boom. Now for description, doesn't matter. I literally just do the same thing. And then from here, what CJ will do is they will have all of their suppliers see this listing, and whoever has this right now currently available will respond to your sourcing request, and then you can compare the different rates. So as you can see, we did a sourcing request for the digital photo frame. It did succeed, and that was the listing that we just saw earlier in the video, which was $60. So again, not great, but at least we're able to find a supplier using CJ. Now, AutoDS also has this sourcing feature as well if you can't find the product on their platform, which I wasn't familiar with your game, AutoDS. I don't know what to say. So in the product section, as you can see right here, we've imported the product using either AliExpress, CJ, or all the other different listings where you can import it from. And when you go to your products, you click on these three dots, then you go to sourcing requests. So you just click on that. And then once you go to your orders and sourcing requests, you can see all the requests you have right here. So obviously we have one that was just completed. Now I am sourcing these on the weekend, so technically it takes around 2 business days. So after this video, I would get the different quotes, but this is just showing you how you can do it, which is insane that AutoDS lets you do everything. I mean, honestly, it's like, what are you doing right now if you don't have AutoDS? Use that link down below so Papa Ethan can get a few schmeckles to spend on brand new watches. All right, I know I'm the mayor of Yappertown over here, and you're thinking,
Ethan, can we just move on to the next product?
and yes, we are going to do that. So for the self-blending mug, what are we going to do here?
Well, everyone, what did we just learn?
I'm going to be like Dora the Explorer.
Very good.
You click on the AliSeeks, we find the AliExpress supplier, grab the link, and then do the same process, rinse and repeat. You are learning so much. I'm so proud of you. I am a proud daddy. Ugh. So we got our first supplier here, and the total cost is around $18, but 4 to 13 days shipping. It is just beautiful. I can't lie. It is sexy, and it's just that AliExpress is not this big bad guy that everyone else is trying to paint it out to be. All these other dropshippers just don't understand AliExpress. They painted it with a label, and they just never reevaluated it. They hopped on the bandwagon of hating on AliExpress, but they never reevaluated their opinion. They never said, why are we so against it? They just assumed because everyone else said it was bad, therefore it is. But you have to question that. We have to think outside the box. We need to be conspiracy theorists. When one person says something, we don't just blindly accept that and follow orders like Nazis. We do our own research. All right, that's enough tangents for one video. So we have our main AliExpress supplier, $17, 4 to 13 days shipping. So on CJ, we can source this product. It costs $8 in terms of the product cost, $15 for shipping. Yeah, $26 is not gonna work out. And then on AutoDS, I was also able to find it. So it cost us $5, and then shipping, yeah, again, it's way more than we would ideally like. So if it was me, I would just grab the AliExpress link and then import it using our AutoDS. So that way we can automatically fulfill all the orders. So we're still going to use AutoDS. And with Zendrop and all the other tools, I did try to source this product, couldn't find it. So with Commercive, let's take a look at what their quote was. And as we can see for the mug, $13.90 with 10 to 15 days shipping. So actually, if I was to compare them all, I would use Commercive in this case. Now for the shoulder heating pad, I was still up to debate about which design I wanted to use because I knew the concept was already proven. Now, if you're not familiar with different product concepts and why I look for that over actual designs, then I would take a look at my product research video where I cover the exact criteria I use to find winning products. So as we see for the shoulder heating pad on CJ, it costs us $40. So that's our baseline, $40, and the shipping time is 8 to 14 days. That is very respectable. Now on Eprolo, $35, and then for shipping 10 to 18. So Eprolo is coming out on top over CJ, but on AliExpress, $20, 4 to 13 days. I mean, half the cost, and it is faster than Eprolo. Bro, that is ridiculous. But let's see one more time on Commercive, $25, okay, 10 to 15 days. So that is actually much cheaper than Eprolo and all these other options. So it would have been a battle between Commercive and AliExpress, but you can really see Commercive, they brought their gloves to this fight. They are competing with the big dogs. So I got to give them some credit for that. Now, because I can see you slouching in your bed right now, fiending to open Instagram, TikTok, or those dating apps, because this video, you've already gotten the point. Well, there's one more final thing you need to know, and that's how do you get a private sourcing agent to get you even better rates than the ones we've seen in this video. So I did reach out to my private sourcing agent, and he was able to beat all of the prices and shipping times for the products we got sourced in this video. So I'm actually going to be using him for these products. And you may be wondering, how did I get access to that person? And it really just came to maximizing my network, because you will find the best private sourcing agents through referrals, through other dropshippers already having those sourcing agents. And I've already gone through the trial and error of working with a lot of bad ones to find eventually that one golden supplier that they use every single time. So luckily I found my guy. And if you want access to my guy, all you have to do is just join either my course or coaching program and we'll give you full access. But I would recommend join other Discords to see which supplier agents are they currently using, because usually every single person has a guy. They got their go-to person that they are going to get sourcing for any product from. So you can leverage that network, usually for a cost of like 30, 50 bucks, to then compare all these sourcing agents and see which one is the right fit for you. Now, son, once you enter the big leagues and your dropshipping store is doing over 10 plus orders a day, then you need to be reaching out to multiple suppliers outside of your main one to get more quotes to see, can you get a better product cost and lower shipping times for that main product that you are consistently scaling? And a great place to do that is looking up your product on Alibaba and seeing all the different suppliers. Now, Alibaba is for usually wholesaling things, but if you reach out to their suppliers, they can get custom branding on your product, and obviously you can ship this out to a 3PL that's in the main country you're shipping to. So if you're mainly shipping to US, you find the US 3PL and then you order in bulk from Alibaba to that 3PL. That is usually how the process is going to go, and then they can brand it with the packaging, adding your logo to the product if that is something that makes sense to do. With this type of product, maybe on the back of the frame you could, but I would say more for the packaging. And you don't even necessarily have to switch from your main supplier if they're good, but if you get a better quote using Alibaba, CJ, all these other places, then you can use that as leverage and say, hey, right now my main supplier, I'm paying $35 for your product costs, but I can see with this other supplier, I can get that down to 30. So can you negotiate? Can you get it down and match that cost? And again, there's always wiggle room to negotiate, especially if you're bringing in consistent business every single month, because you have more and more leverage. So never just settle with the initial product costs and price that you've had in the beginning. Always keep renegotiating.